Welcome to Hot Springs Village Inside Out, a weekly podcast where Hot Springs Village, Arkansas is the star. Join me, Randy Cantrell, and my co-host Dennis Simpson as we discuss the history, facts, people, places, events, lots more surrounding Hot Springs Village, Arkansas. Visit the website at hotspringsvillageinsideout.com. Today's show is brought to you by Central Arkansas's favorite radio station, KVRE. Find them on the dial at 92.9 FM. Stream them live at kvre.com. For 14 years, Jim and Aundrea Sparks have owned the Home Plate Cafe. They recently sold the cafe. They're going to be retiring. We had them on a live stream on Friday, February the 18th, 2022. That's what today's show is. Goodbye to Jim and Aundrea Sparks, and a celebration and a congratulations. And we wish them all the best and a happy retirement. Enjoy the show.
It's back and they're both together.
All right, it's fixing to stream.
We are getting ready.
Says it's live, but
live
we'll
on Facebook.
We'll give it a minute. So don't say anything that you don't want the whole world to know.
Exactly.
Because there's no editing when you go live.
Hey, I've been wanting to talk about my hemorrhoids, and no. We won't bring that up. We won't bring that up.
Too much information.
So we're waiting for a few people to cling on and tune in because nobody knew this was coming.
We don't care.
We didn't give any preview warning.
They can catch it live. Yeah, I did. I posted that it was fixing to go live.
Oh, did okay.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yep, I did. I did. So if you're in the group, this is one of the benefits of being in the group. You get stuff like this that you don't get anywhere else.
Exclusive content.
Yeah, well, you get it early. Well, we got to begin. First, we got to begin by, it is bittersweet, but it's a celebration and it's great. I mean, man, what a 14-year run and the impact that you've made on the community. You know, when I was there last week and Jim and visited with Rhonda and I, we came and ate, and I was just looking around at the tables and the people, you know, and some of these faces, and I don't know their names, but you guys do, but I've seen some of the same faces. You know, you're such a fixture. You've created such a fixture, and you built on what had been there before. You know, and I look at these people and I think, man, what a powerful impact on a community. I mean, that's got to feel good, right?
It does.
100%.
Definitely does. We're gonna miss a lot of people.
It's been real emotional. Past
it's family, right?
100%
Yep.
family.
We were bawling at the closing last night.
Yeah, literally. Like the lady was like, "Do y'all need a second?" We're like, "Yes."
I said, "Where's Dennis for this? He should join right in."
Right.
Yeah, we need more than a second.
Yeah, and Diane would agree with you. She always jokes with me, you know, I'll tear up. She'll go, "Why are you unhappy?" I'm like, "I'm not unhappy. I'm happy." You know, it's emotional, you know?
It is really emotional. It hit us all of a sudden and we started bawling and they were like, "Oh my God."
They're like, "Are y'all good?" No, we're not.
Well, I'll tell you what, Randy, let's recap. You want to start from the beginning? Where are we and who are these people? And
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. This is Jim and Aundrea Sparks. I have had the pleasure of interviewing them.
Those of you out of state don't know, but everybody inside the village already knows.
Everybody does, absolutely. But I've interviewed them a couple of times, and we talked about the cruises y'all went on. We talked about the trips you organized. We talked about the home plate and how you'd been there for forever, and how you got together, how apparently not having pickles at the Red Lobster is a problem. Who knew? You want to go back and see some village venue shows about that? It was funny.
And there were jackets. There were really outstanding jackets.
I was going to wear my loud jacket today in honor of you, Jim, but I didn't want to. I mean, you didn't have a chance to grab one, right?
That's right.
True.
We're still at the restaurant.
Well, and the news is that after 14 years, these lovely folks are saying adios and au revoir, and apparently going to ride off into the sunset, right? No, we're selling the home plate. Been for sale for how long, Jim?
Well, you know, a few years ago, we thought we were ready, and we approached our kitchen manager, Irby, that'd been with us for a long time, and we asked if he was interested, and he was, and we tried a couple different times to make it happen, and unfortunately, it just wasn't a doable situation. Well, I'm going to let you tell how it came about with Marty.
So a year ago in February, I said to Jim, I said, I'm going to call a broker. And he said, I think you're nuts. He said, it's the middle of a pandemic and no one's going to buy the restaurant right now. And I said, I'm done. I'm calling a broker. He said, okay. So I did. We met with the broker several times. He got everything ready and as far as putting it out there, and everything was done except for our final signature.
For them to go ahead and list the
For them to-
property.
for it to
and
go
start-
live.
Start trying to,
And
push it.
so it was a Friday, and I was going to New Orleans for my best friend. She was getting married. It was kind of like a little bachelorette party. But so I was on a plane going to New Orleans. The broker called Jim and said, hey, just so you know, everything's ready. The documents are ready. They're in your email. We just need your signatures. And Jim said, well, Aundrea won't be back until Sunday. When she gets back on Sunday, we'll review everything. We'll sign them. That's that. So that was a Friday night. Jim was here at the restaurant. Marty was in, I think Marty and Tanya, right?
I know this was just Marty.
Just Marty.
Yeah.
And he came up to pay at the register, and Jim was overwhelmed. We were busy and, whatever. And he says, oh man, Jim, you look tired or something. I don't know exactly how this conversation went, but Jim
We're good friends with Marty, like we are
Yeah,
a lot of our
we're
customers
friends
that
with
come
him.
all the time. So I happened to just mention, we're actually going to sell the restaurant. We hired a broker and we're going to, list the restaurant. And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, well, we're just ready. We've been here a long time and we both feel like it's time to go. And he says, well, you haven't signed with the broker yet, have you? And I said, well, no, the documents are in our email. Aundrea is on a trip. She'll be back Sunday. We're going to review them and sign them. He says, let me talk to my wife. And so the next day we talked. We actually went to Longhorns for a meeting.
when I got off the plane that Sunday evening, we all met in Hot Springs, the four of us at Longhorns. And basically they said that night, we want it. Don't sign with this broker. And we're like, geez, that'll save us a ton of money for sure. Number one, plus we know them. Our crew knows them.
Well, that was the big
They're
thing.
great people. And
Well, let's take a break here just for a second and give our listeners and viewers a little profile. Now, they owned Mueller's and Superior, and tell me more about this.
so back in the day, he's here someplace I could ask him. Years ago, they were one of the first owners of Mueller's Bakery. And I think that was, I had to guess 8 or 9 years ago. That's just my guess. Don't quote me on that. They sold that, and they currently own Superior Dry Cleaners.
Is that the one at the bottom of the hill?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is. And so, they're business people. They're a husband and wife team. They're awesome.
So that night at Longhorn, or it was we want to do it, and let's move on from here.
Let's move on. And then it was a slow, agonizing year.
Well, he started out with a certain bank that he was familiar with. And in the end, we burnt a couple months with that bank, and it wasn't going to be possible to finance it through that bank. So then we have a great relationship with Arvest Bank. And so he decided to go give that a try. And that's where things took off. But things take a long time.
A long time.
This has been, the original closing date was scheduled for October 15th. And, that came and went. And then then they asked us to extend to December 15th, but they thought it could be done by November. December 15th came and went. Then we extended to January 15th, then February 15th. And, a few weeks ago, we kind of, Aundrea made a phone call and said, we got to wrap this up one way or the other. So,
Yes.
We've been hanging on. The money's great. Don't get me wrong. We put our blood, sweat, and tears into Home Plate and feel like it was worth what we asked for. But we, honest to God, have been holding on for our 39, 40 employees, their families, and of course our guests. We have guests that come every single day.
Yeah.
And so we held in for a lot longer than we wanted to. I can tell you that.
And them too. We thought it was agony for us. And, Tanya divulged that to us last night too. She says, it's just been just as hard. She goes, some days I was like, Marty, is it really meant for us to buy this restaurant? I'm like, gosh, this date comes and goes and this date comes and goes. And it's nobody's fault. When you're dealing with banks and SBAs and, different situations, it's out of everybody's control.
they had to get, a couple of life insurance policies. They
Oh.
had to get a lot of things that we never had to get,
No.
14 years ago. Of course, it
Yeah, the
wasn't
world
the
has
same
changed.
price and it wasn't the same time, after that whole housing, debacle and everything, all
Right.
the banks have a lot of different procedures these days.
True. That's true.
So it
Well,
just
this-
was what it was.
This killing time is killing me, is what I heard, right?
Mhm.
Oh my word. And then, so we were supposed to close on Tuesday, right? And so we took Tuesday and Wednesday off. We thought, okay. Tuesday came, the end of the day, Tuesday came and they said, oh, there's a hiccup with the paperwork. So we're going to close tomorrow. And I thought, oh God, okay. I said, okay, good. We're off tomorrow. We can do this, right? Wednesday came and went. Got to the end of Wednesday and they said, there's another little something that wasn't typed up right at the title company.
Too late to wire the money today. We'll have to wait till tomorrow.
I said, this is
Oh.
a nightmare we can't wake up from. 3 days straight here. We're trying to
It's
do
like
the closing.
Groundhog Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day,
A never-ending story.
So finally, after supposed to, to close on Tuesday, we closed yesterday. So
Well, congratulations in every way, seriously. And I two parts I want to come to. I know that our listeners, one of the things they're really going to want to know is what's going to change and what's not going to change. And then part two of that question is, retired? Really? I don't know. Yeah, you're going to go do something, right? We'll come back to that one. We'll come back to that one. Part one, what's going to change? What's not going to change?
Go ahead.
so according to Marty and Tanya, they don't want anything to change. We don't blame them. And I know our guests are going to feel the same way. They have been very regular guests of ours for many, many years. And so our 90% of our crew members already know Marty and Tanya, which is going to make this thing so much smoother because they know them personally.
I mean, even the kitchen employees know Marty because he
Of his
orders
breakfast order.
Yeah, he orders 6 eggs and he orders, bacon and sausage, no bread. So that ticket comes in the window and they're like, oh,
There's
Marty's
Marty.
here.
so they don't want to lose any of the employees. They know how well it runs with our current employees. They don't want to change the menu. The only thing that is going to change, and it's for the good, is it's now going to be Home Plate Cafe and Bakery.
And the bakery will be contained.
It is, okay, you know how we built this bar a year
Mhm.
ago and never opened it?
Mhm.
That's why.
That
Let's
makes-
stay-
Well, we really did have staffing issues all last year.
We
and It would have
did.
been a mistake, even if this wasn't happening, to try to
Right.
get a bar open and not have the staff to be able to successfully do it.
Yeah, but then when they indicated to us that they didn't want to get a hard liquor license and that they wanted to have a bakery, we were like, that's perfect. The bar top's already there. It's set up perfect.
It's going to be a cute little bakery area.
Mhm.
You'll be able to access it from, I believe they're going to do the same thing we were going to do and kind of knock a hole in the wall from the dining room
Well,
to,
I don't know if
to
we're gonna
that
do
room.
that.
There's still a separate entrance also, so that'll be up to them.
Yeah,
But
Don't know about
they're
that.
going to make, fresh bread daily for not only the bakery, but the restaurant. So that'll be a huge plus for all the guests. And, imagine all kinds of different pastries, maybe homemade cakes and things like that. Jason, as you know, well, not everybody knows, but we have a gentleman named Jason Hunt, and he's just about done with culinary school, is going to be a pastry chef. He's been working, he started in our kitchen, then went to the dining room to wait tables. And it's just weird the way the Lord works. He had a couple of weeks ago texted us and asked us if he could, get some training as a manager. We have, 3 kitchen managers and 3 front of the house part-time managers. And we didn't really have an opening. And we told him, he was for his degree and to get that on his resume kind of thing. And we said, well, we don't have any positions open, but if we get something, we'll let you know. We'll consider you. 2 days later, a situation came about and
we needed him.
guess what? We needed him. So the great news is that Marty and Tanya had been eyeing Jason from the beginning, based on the whole bakery thing. They really were hoping that he would agree to come off the floor and join the management team. So as luck would have it, or whatever you want to call it, we got that in place before we actually closed. And, now he doesn't have to worry about whether or not he'll do it or not.
Yeah.
Jason's really excited and about the future plans and well, everybody's excited.
Well, to be theological just for a second, which is not usually how I am, the dear Lord, he doesn't have to look at time. We're captives of time, and Doesn't bother God. He doesn't have a problem with it.
True.
You know,
That's
you
true.
can, he saw today a year ago, didn't bother him. They'll make it. It'll work. It'll go out. Wouldn't you
Ugh.
like to have gotten that memo?
I would
Yeah.
have, because I prayed every single day, every day. I was like, okay, today's the day, today's the day. And my best friend, Paige, bless her soul, she lives in Louisiana, and every day she'd pray. Every morning she gets up and she prays for lots of different people, but she'd text me and she'd say, it's all on God's time. It's all on God's time, Aundrea. It's all on God's time. I'd say, I know.
I know. I know.
know.
So
So
now
then-
what? Now what?
Yeah,
We know the
you
next
asked
two.
that-
We know the next 2 weeks are going to be frenetic,
Yeah.
and probably heartbreaking some days.
Gonna be, we just don't even know. It's gonna be so many different emotional things with all our guests, and we've had some of them with our crew today. Lots of hugs and some
Tears.
tears, but it's. I don't even know how we're gonna be prepared for what we're about to face the next couple.
Well,
of
I'll
weeks.
give you the Dr. Seuss quote that I love of all sources, right? And I first thought about it years ago when I lost a dog that I was in love with. Don't be sad that it's over. Be happy that it happened.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's
No,
something,
absolutely.
there's something to live with. Okay. So now what?
So travel for a while. We've got already some trips planned out. We plan on going someplace once a month for a year.
Yeah.
Well, where's home base going to be?
Well, we bought property in Panama City Beach. We have a couple of condos down there on the beach, and we plan to build a house. We've been holding those plans until this thing has been finished for a long time. So we really haven't. We have a builder, but we haven't even scratched a blueprint yet. So
No, we went ahead and just secured the lot because it was in the neighborhood that we wanted to be in. So we went ahead and bought the lot. I think it was back in August or September.
Yeah.
And we just thought, well, we're going to secure it. And then when the time comes, then, we can get started. So
Randy
We're
knows
gonna get
something
our
about
house.
that.
We're going to get our house ready to sell here. We've got a little project going on downtown Hot Springs where we're
Yeah,
building
they knew
another
that.
little nightly rental. That's almost done. So we're going to see that through. And we don't really have a plan per se. We're going to start, chucking away, or chucking's not the right word, chipping away at all the different things we want to do. So,
Yeah.
but
we-
mostly just have fun this first year, try to,
Mhm.
and just stop and smell the roses.
Well, most of us have no concept of what a commitment is like to be in the restaurant game.
Yeah.
So for those of us that may not be accustomed to the 80 to 100-hour work weeks, so
Right.
give us some sense, because a 14-year run, people think, man, 14 years, that's not that long.
Oh,
Yeah, but
seemed
then
like
it's
30.
like dog years, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
restaurant,
it seemed like 30.
there's restaurant time, and then there's the ordinary time for the rest of us.
Well, they used to say, yeah, you want to work in a restaurant, you get to work half a day. Which 12 hours do you want?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot like that. Although,
We've got great people, so-
we've had most of the years were really fun. This last year and a half or so has not been fun. And it's just when it's time to go. When you've done all you can do, and we're very much going to miss things. And as soon as we start feeling better, I'm sure we're going to be sad even more, that we left it behind. But we're really excited about the new things coming in our life, and can't wait to get started.
Well, and you've still got, it's not like you're severing ties with the area.
No.
No.
You've still got
No.
some irons in the fire here.
Yeah,
Yep.
we've got family here, both of us, and we've got properties here. And so, yeah, and we won't be moving to Florida soon anyways. I mean, it'll be probably a year and a
Dennis,
half.
if you have a place for rent, if we do sell our house, we could,
Now, is that long-term or short-term?
well, somewhat long and somewhat short. I mean,
Not in the long term. Yeah, I don't blame
yeah,
you. Us
we're
either.
not either, but
Us
yeah,
either.
that's going to be the challenge. And we thought possibly we might pull our listing on the mountain. We got a nice cabin up on 5 acres, not far from here. And we have 2 dogs and 2 cats. So, we can't just go anywhere.
Right.
And so we're thinking that if we do sell we want to sell our house pretty quick, because we don't want to miss out on this
The
market.
market's so hot. that-
So we may do that. We may decide to just move over to our cabin for 3, 4, 5 months, whatever
Yeah.
it takes, and then stay there in the meantime while we're building in Florida.
Yeah, who knows?
It's nice to have options.
It is nice to have options. You're right. Yeah.
Now the project in Hot Springs is, where are we at with that? You're due to
Um,
complete that?
I'd say 75% done.
Yeah.
I would, we're what they call in the dry.
Yeah.
That's a new
Okay, and
word
for
I can't
people that might be just tuning in and might not have a clue what we're talking about, give them a description of this place.
Well, it's on Park Avenue. A lot of people think we're nuts for building on Park Avenue. But you know,
We are nuts.
honestly, you can see all the growth going on in that area. There's all the little motels being redone. We were really nervous about starting, you know, the last couple months because we were right next to the absolute worst 3 houses on the street. Boarded up. Some of
Literally.
the windows were boarded up with doors, glass broken, everything.
I thought,
And we thought, what are we doing, even ourselves, you know?
our
But
property's beautiful.
yeah, well, I mean,
You know.
we're building a little cabin, we call it, or cottage. I call it a gingerbread house.
It's gonna be cute.
It's going to be chocolate brown. It's got a brown metal roof, and it's going to be chocolate brown on the outside with red trim around the windows and a lime green door. So it's going to pop
Cute.
from the street. It's going to look really cool.
And it sits up. So
Mm-hmm.
you go up like these rock steps, and then it's elevated above park.
So you got like a peekaboo view. We're right across from the new donut shop that used to be a gas station.
I was about to say, I knew where the donut shop was, and I was,
Yes.
yeah, right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
So the 3 crappy houses, as of a couple weeks ago, all of a sudden there's a crew out there. Somebody must have bought them, but they're all under construction and they're going to be fixed up. So we're actually going to be that whole block
It's gonna
per
be
se is
new.
going to be nice.
So
Well, you know, when we recorded Village Venues, we were down in that same area at John Cooksey's.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
That's
he
right.
has been a huge proponent of that Park Avenue area. And I mean, it was the ritzy end of town for quite a long
I
time.
know.
That way,
I
because,
know.
and for those of you that don't know, there wasn't an interstate 30, 40 years ago. You would come down Highway 5, which was also called the old military road, but
Okay.
you would come down Highway 5 and I have dozens of postcards, and I didn't think they would ever be that important, but I have postcards about all the mom and pop restaurants that were and hotels that were on either side of the road. And I'm talking
Nice.
about out in Fountain Lake and even further up, that the
Oh, yeah.
whole side of the road was all populated with these, because this was the highway into Hot Springs.
Uh-huh.
Well, as you came into Park Avenue, Stubby's was located on the left-hand side for a long time. And I mean, it was just a great area. And so now it's a up and coming area, which is code for, it used to not be so great, but it's getting better.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they're calling it Uptown, and a lot of things have been purchased that haven't started development yet. But we think it's going to keep getting better and better. We might be just a little bit ahead of the curve, but that's okay.
That's okay.
And describe this property for us. So other than the colors, it's going to be, how big is this? And
It's small, so it's going to be about 700 square feet with a loft, and it's going to be shabby chic. So we got some really cool ideas.
Chandeliers, shiplap walls,
Stained concrete.
and some rustic fixtures, tied in there too. That's the whole shabby and the
It'll be
chic.
so cute.
We think it's going to turn out really cool. You're going to be able to walk right to downtown, Hot Springs from it. So that's going to be a nice draw. The location, we both think it's going to be kind of the funky, upcoming hip, part of town to stay.
do.
And with the proximity to town, it's never going to be,
Mm-mm.
a bad location other than
Yeah.
the neighborhood. And it's slowly getting better. So
It is.
and this will be, to recap, this will be a short-term rental property, and it will sleep how many?
Four.
So 1 bedroom downstairs and then a loft bedroom upstairs. And then small kitchen, small bathroom, small living room, cute little porch out back,
Oh yeah.
covered porch. And it, like we said, it's kind of a peekaboo view of Park Avenue.
Mhm.
And you're hoping to get this on the market for rent by?
Probably May, I would think.
Yeah, it's supposed to be done with construction middle of March, and it looks like we're going to hit that or come real close to hitting that. And then we got to, put all the decor in and take pictures and get it on the VRBO or Airbnb.
You
And
know how that goes.
yeah, so we're thinking probably by May, sometime in May.
Yeah, good. That's exciting. Dennis?
Well, no, I was just going to say on the other side of the road there, Randy, it would be worth our listeners and our viewers opportunity to drive by that part of Park if you don't come in that way very often. There are so many, I think world-class historic 50s vintage real world motor courts there.
There are.
And if you realize, a lot of people didn't recognize, but you would stay there or at the Belvedere when you were going to go down to the Vapors and gamble or and hear Sammy Davis Jr. or Phyllis Diller or
That's right.
any of these guys. And so it was the area. And by the way, I wanted to mention John Cooksey also bought a triplex down there and he's fixing it up too. So
Oh, cool.
it really is going to be a much nicer area. And you say, like you say, you cannot change the location.
Mm-mm.
Speaking of location, where's our first location going to be? Say, I don't know, this time next month.
We're going to be in Ambergris Cay, Belize.
Belize.
It's an island.
Well, you couldn't have picked a prettier place, or I mean, is that
It's just, I was
you're
thinking.
relegated to the real dregs of the earth?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's slumming it in one of the most beautiful places on the planet. And I'm sorry, and the most warm temperate. Yeah. Not having to be here in the bad winter. It's not bad winter, but you get my drift.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be celebratory / birthday trip. So my birthday's
wow.
the 9th of March. So yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Well, happy birthday.
We're doing 2
congratulations.
celebrations. Mhm.
Yeah.
Then we come back.
The minute your toes hit the sand, whatever sadness you're going to feel in the next 2 weeks,
It's going to be gone.
gone that quick. I
Got it.
promise. Yeah.
That's it.
That's
That's
awesome.
So tell me this. So that's the first step. We're going to stay there for some time. And I love the idea. I mean, you just don't really have, there's not a 3-month plan that we're going to be in so-and-so in 3 months. Man, that's awesome. That's awesome.
No,
Yeah.
we're just going to take things day by day and
We know
Yeah.
we're going to be at a train concert in Lake Tahoe on August 5th.
and
But
probably
that'll be number what?
28, 27?
27, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, look at
my
y'all.
calendar.
Train groupies, man.
6th or 7th, I don't know. Well, they have they have a new tour, so we're gonna also
Yeah.
add a couple more.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good group to be a groupie of. And in my opinion, I'm a fan. I'm a
Yeah.
fan. I think it's awesome. How long's it been since you have you ever in your life been able to even think about, much less actually live a life where you got up in the morning and the day belonged to you?
Oh,
I mean, even in ownership, I mean, even on vacation,
Yeah.
as owners of the home plate, you couldn't
Oh.
really do it.
no,
could you?
I mean, no, I always have to get the internet plan if we're on a cruise so that my people can contact me. I always have to have the international plan anytime we've ever traveled over the 14 years.
And if you're the new owners, we don't want you listening to this part of the show.
yeah. Where are you, Marty? Go
By the way,
away.
new owners, Andrea's going to change her phone number as soon as she's in Belize.
He already asked me. He already asked me that last week. He goes, "How long are you going to answer the phone for me?"
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't know."
Yeah. 2 weeks. That's it. Yeah. 2 week. You have a 2-week notice.
That's it.
That's awesome. It's awesome. Well, we want to give you guys an opportunity without us horning in. You know, it's your opportunity, maybe the first of many, to say whatever you guys want to say. This obviously is live stream, but there'll be people that will watch this later. So, and I think I told you both, Dennis and I are going to take this. We're going to take this live stream and we're going to rebroadcast this on our show and put it on YouTube Tuesday, March the 1st.
Okay.
That will be the final week for these kids. And there may be some stuff that you guys want to add to that, but for the live stream, I don't know. Figure we'll give you guys the platform.
Okay. I'll be emotional. Wow. Just the memories, the awesome people that we feed every day. And there's some people that they don't go anywhere else but here. They come here once, twice, sometimes 3 times a day. But they don't just come here for the food. We always spend time and talk with our guests. They're our family and they have been for 14 years. That's what I'll miss the most. And then my crew, you know, I'm like Mama Bear here, you know, and I feel like I've got 39 kids. It's we're going to miss everybody so much, and it's going to be a hard couple weeks to get through. Marty and Tanya are great people, and without a doubt, we know We know they're going to do a good job. And, you know, we couldn't just sell home plate to anybody. You know, we couldn't. I mean, the community would just flip if we just, you know, sold it to a Joe Schmo. You know, there's too much of a legacy here, in my opinion.
I can't do it. I don't think the crew will miss me as much as her, but I hope they appreciated how hard we both worked. We did a lot to help them, and I hope they know that. She said it all, really. There's not much to add. We're going to miss a lot of people.
A lot of people. Y'all, we have gotten so many texts and emails and messages and really heartfelt emails, and
even people that have moved from here and don't live here anymore that are still on our, you know, either Facebook or on our VIP email thing.
and I mean, personally, they're happy for Jim and I to move on, but it's just like a family here, you know, and we just know everybody, and we know everybody's kids and their dogs and their
Yeah, we know they're dogs because some of them bring them in.
oh well,
Yeah.
well, I had
Somebody owns a dog. that
no
came
kidding
from
though.
there.
Yeah.
No kidding though. I had one of our guests message me this morning. He's like, is the whole bacon thing still gonna be
Oh,
okay? He goes, Baxter wants to know.
No, maybe a lot of people may not know this, but you know, you go to a bank, you get a doggy biscuit or something that they don't even like. At Home Plate for the last at least 12
They
years,
get bacon.
when the dogs come through the drive-through, every dog gets a piece of bacon. Wright's Brothers, thick, beautiful bacon.
That's
and
right.
so guests literally bring their dogs here.
And they are hanging out the window
Yeah.
waiting, looking, you know, they know where they are.
Yeah. We're gonna miss that too.
Yeah.
Well, you told me when we were there last week, Jim, you know, that one of the things that, you know, one of y'all's act of brilliance, not that you didn't change some things, but you guys learned when you came in 14 years ago, you know, the community likes it. Don't mess with it.
Yep.
You know, it ain't broken. Don't break it, you know, and I'm sure you've had countless conversations, and you'll have more over the next 2 weeks with the new owners, who, by the way, we wish all the best and pray for continued success for them and the legacy, you know, the legacy of the place. But now that you look in retrospect at that, I mean, how pivotal was that decision? Because you and I both know a lot of entrepreneurs would come in with some ego thinking, forget this, you know, I'm putting my fingerprints all over this thing.
Well, we fell in love with Home Plate when we were a customer. You know, we had just moved here to the area and we were living in the village, and both hated the jobs we had, at least at the time, meaning Red Lobster and On the Border. We were not happy there. And so we were sitting literally in the corner of the dining room. It was just one room at the time, real small place, but we made the decision to inquire about the restaurant. And we heard loud and clear immediately from the community, don't change anything. And we didn't make any changes. In fact, our base menu is still very much the same.
Yeah,
there's a couple of
is.
additions, but nothing I can think of that we've taken away. Just added the theme nights and the, you know, expanded the catering menus and stuff like that. And as we've grown, we've added decor. The cool thing about that is most of the decor comes from our guests. Every time somebody wins the World Series, we'll get a World Series pennant in the mail 2 weeks later, or drop by. And it's kind of funny, this last year, when the Dodgers won, lady brings me the Dodgers pennant, and it's kind of the tradition is they get to choose where they want it in the dining room. And she knew exactly where she wanted it. She wanted the Houston Astros pennant coming down, and because they cheated, and she wanted to put it up there. So now the Houston Astros, I think it's over the men's room door. I don't know, but yeah, it's kind of fun. You know?
So does do the most recent victors get the priority over previous victors? I was thinking that's the way it rolled. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Dennis.
Well, I was just going to think somebody has a pennant over the grease trap is my guess. There's a
Yeah.
back in the,
Yeah.
there is a worse place than the men's room. And anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, guys, it has been a sincere and distinct pleasure knowing and working with you guys. And I know you'll be back, and I'd love to have them back on the show soon, Randy, just to do a follow-up. What happens when you go on vacation after trying to kill yourself for 14 years?
Hey,
Yeah.
do that.
What
That,
happens?
that decompression thing ought to be pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and it's pretty exciting to be building a new house too.
Yeah.
That's pretty thrilling.
Yeah.
And by the way, Marty and Tanya would love to come on with you guys. We already know that. Tanya had a funeral today, so she's unavailable. So
Yeah. Yeah.
just let them know. Give us a
Yeah.
call. We can put you in touch with them.
Oh, it'll happen. It'll happen. Well,
Right.
listen, I posted on Facebook this morning. You know, y'all are two of our favorite people
Aw.
to our program, and can't thank you enough for the support for this little show that, Dennis and I just kind of say we're kind of the little show that could, or we're trying to prove that we can. So, and we look up to you guys for the 14 years that you guys put in the daily grind to it. Yeah, I told Rhonda when we left, I said, man, I don't know, man. We need to try to get back there. When we planned on it, Saturday, the last Saturday we were there, is when there were snow flurries, and I mean it
Oh,
turned
yeah.
bitter cold, and we were
Yeah.
like, I ain't getting out anywhere, man. I'm staying under the flannel, but yeah, we'd planned on getting out that day. But I'm glad that we got to come before you guys pull the trigger on this. So
Thank you.
I don't know, Dennis. I'm going to give you guys, and then I'm going to give those two guys the last words. That's all I got. Appreciate
I
you
was gonna
guys. I wish
say-
you all the best.
Ditto. And all I was going to say is thank you. Thank you. Literally.
I appreciate it, guys. We'll miss y'all too.
Very much.
But we'll be here for the next few weeks. So everybody swing on by. Marty needs the business.
Yeah, he does. Got bills to pay.
We'll come
Yeah.
get some bacon for scraps. How about that?
Yes, for sure.
He knows how to do that.
He's had plenty of our bacon.
Well, for Hot Springs Village Inside Out, I'm Dennis Simpson. He's Randy Cantrell, and that is Jim and Aundrea Sparks, our dear friends. And we wish them all the best. Hope you do too.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Hot Springs Village Inside Out, a podcast where Hot Springs Village, Arkansas is the star. Please subscribe to the podcast. You can do that by visiting our website, hsvinsideout.com, and tell a friend.